Hello, my friends! Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to SilvaCast. Welcome to one more episode. Today, I have a special guest from the US. It's the second time that she is here with me. Her name is Carley. She's an English teacher from the US. And today, we're going to talk about phrasal verbs. This is a topic that I love so much. Phrasal verbs are very useful. You can use all the time and it's so natural. So stay with us and learn a lot of different and new phrasal verbs that maybe you don't know. So pay attention when you see something pop on screen. It's a new phrasal verb, a new expression or vocabulary that I want to share with you, okay? But before we start, I want to share something very cool with you. My English speaking club has started, and my friend, it's amazing. I have been talking to people in our meetings, and they are very happy. I'm very happy too because we have such a great connection there. And this English speaking club, it's a place that nobody will judge you, nobody will laugh at you. It's a safe place for you to practice your English on a daily basis and in a funny way. So my purpose in this English speaking club is not teach you English, but make you a great communicator, because communication is the key. If you speak English but you are not a good communicator, I think you won't be succeed, because English is important, but you need to know how to express yourself in a better way, how convince people, how to make presentations in English, speech in English, and everything. So my purpose in this English speaking club is helping you to become a powerful communicator, okay? So click the link below and join us. And now let's get started. Hello, Carly. How are you? Long time no see you. How are you
I'm
doing?
great, Ed. How are you? It has been a
I'm
long time.
doing. It is. It is. I'm so happy to have you here again for
Awesome.
the second time. So I am sure that everybody here knows you because they are already watched the first episode with you. We talk about expressions and a lot of things. And today we have a new thing to talk about, and I am so excited to receive you again to tell my audience about this. Could you say a little bit about it, what we are going to talk about today?
So today we're going to be talking about phrasal verbs. And it's interesting that we chose this topic because actually I have been debating about going over phrasal verbs on my YouTube channel, because usually I stick to slang or idioms, expressions, abbreviations, because phrasal verbs are so common with native English speakers that a lot of times we don't even realize that we use them so much. So I'm excited to go over some phrasal verbs today with you, because even as a native English speaker, I don't really think about them that often. I don't think of them as being different than just everyday language, because it is so common for us to use them.
I think this is the magic of phrasal verbs. You don't think about it, just use it, and I think this is
Yes.
really cool. So first of all, what is a phrasal verb? Just for those that don't know exactly what it is. So what is a phrasal verb,
So a
Carly?
phrasal verb is when you have a regular verb, but then you mix it with maybe an adverb or a preposition, and it becomes something totally different that is totally opposite of what the actual words mean on their own. So, like example, if you have the word or the verb pick, and then you add up, pick up. Usually, you would think, oh, like you pick up something and then you put it down. You know, but up means up in the air, right? So for us as native English speakers, when we say the pick up, we automatically know, oh, you pick up. But if you don't speak English as a native, or maybe English is your second or third language, you might be confused. You might be like, okay, you're picking what? Because also you can pick apples, or you can pick out a piece of clothing to wear. So it doesn't make sense maybe if you are not like if you're an ESL learner, or if you're not a native English speaker. So I think that's why phrasal verbs are so unique, because every day when I say things like, oh, I want to hang out with my friends, well, hang out is a phrasal verb. If you look at the word hang and then out separately, it doesn't make sense if I say I want to hang out with my friends, you know? But together they make a phrasal verb that has a totally different meaning. So that's why I love talking about phrasal verbs, but at the same time, it's challenging for me as a native English speaker because a lot of times I don't realize I'm using them. And then some people will be like, "What did you say?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's a phrasal verb. Let me explain," you know? So a long definition there. I gave a couple examples.
Yeah, you know what I love the most about phrasal verbs is when you start to use it, it's hard to say the same thing in another way in English. For
Mm-hmm.
example, the phrasal verb "get up" when
Yeah.
you are in the bed and you get up. How can I say this in English if I don't use phrasal verbs? It's hard to.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe wake up, but that's still
It's another
different
one.
because you're out of bed. Yeah, see, it's almost impossible to use without phrasal verbs.
Yeah, for example, break up when you finish a relationship.
Mm.
If you, for example, Susan broke up with her boyfriend. How can I say
Mm.
this in another way? It's long, it's boring, it's difficult to say. I
Yeah.
think first of all, it's incredible to use because it's simple. It's make it everything more easy, easier,
Hmm. I
right?
agree. I agree. No, I agree 100%.
Yeah, I really like this aspect of the language, and I noticed that with my interviews with native English speakers like you, like other people that I have interviewed,
Mm.
when I am looking at the conversation and watch it again to edit and everything, I notice how much you guys use it. It's a lot. It's kind of you guys. It's like 1 in 10. You use something like this.
I
It's
agree.
incredible. I don't know I don't know why you guys use so much, but it's kind of part of the language, right?
Hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. So when I started my YouTube channel, I became more aware of the slang expressions and idioms that we use every day because I keep track. I write down notes and I think like, oh, this is a good one to explain to everyone on YouTube. And I keep a little note on my phone of ideas for videos. But with phrasal verbs, it's almost impossible for me to do that because I say them all the time, like 500 times a day, literally. And there's so many. Like if you were to ask AI how many phrasal verbs are there, I'm pretty sure there are a few hundred at least. We
For
use
sure.
them so much, so it's so common to hear and it's hard to keep track, especially if you're trying to teach phrasal verbs. It's going to be, here's an expression we use, an uphill battle, because there's going to be so many difficulties trying to teach every one of them because there's so many of them. So yeah, it's definitely very common here in the, at least for American English. I can't speak for other language or other dialects of English, but American English is definitely very common.
Yeah, at the beginning when I just start to study English and I start to have contact with phrasal verbs, expressions, I was a little bit like confused about what is an expression, what is a phrasal verb. Could you explain a little bit about this difference for those that don't know exactly what's the difference? Because we have slangs, we have idioms, we have expressions
Mhm.
and phrasal verbs. So what's the difference between an expression and a phrasal verb?
Okay, so for an expression, so like the one that I mentioned before, an uphill battle, that's an expression that we use here in America. I think it could also be classified as an idiom. Sometimes it's a little tricky to find the differences between idioms and expressions. I'm pretty sure this one's an idiom, but an uphill battle just means like, how when you're walking uphill, it's kind of hard, right? It's difficult. Your body's leaning forward, you're using your leg muscles, and it's hard. So when you have an uphill battle, it means you're going through something that is a little bit difficult. So that is an expression. But a phrasal verb is, like I said before, it's a verb and an adverb or maybe a preposition that's put together, and usually they're only about 2 or 3 words long. Some are longer, but usually it's like 2, maybe 3 words that are put together, and it forms a phrasal verb. Now you have things, I can go into more detail. You have transitive phrasal verbs and you have intransitive phrasal verbs. So transitive just means you have to have a direct object So for example, if I say turn off the lights, well, turn off is the phrasal verb, but I can't just say turn off. I have to put the lights behind it. It has to make a full sentence almost. So that's a transitive phrasal verb. And then you also have intransitive phrasal verbs, which they can just stand alone. You don't have to add anything to them. If you're talking, or right now I'm talking, right? I'm talking a lot. I love to talk about English. And if you were to say to me, Fred, if you were to say, go on, it means to continue, right? Well, go on is a phrasal verb, but it's an intransitive phrasal verb because you don't need anything else. You don't have to add anything else to the sentence. Just go on is a phrasal verb, but it's also a sentence in and of itself. So I hope that clears it up a little bit. If you want to go into slang and idioms, that's another, there's so many different slang, and slang is classified by being, usually slang is just one word, and it's something that is not in a dictionary and that people just come up with one day. Honestly, we don't even know where half of the slang comes from. People just start using it and it gets common. Maybe these days on social media, it gets very common and we just start using it. And then we have our idioms, that some idioms have like an actual rich history behind them. And it's quite funny when you research the history behind the idioms. But then others, we just automatically know, what it means as Americans. The idiom, it's raining cats and dogs. You said it's raining right now where you're from in Brazil, right? So you can say the idiom, it's raining cats and dogs. If you say it, it sounds so crazy, right? Like, what are you talking about? But if you know the idiom, it just means it's raining really hard. It's raining cats and dogs, but it makes no sense. And I think I might have used this example before because it's one of my favorite examples to give, but that's the difference between like slang, expressions, idioms, and then phrasal verbs. So hopefully it clears it up a little.
Yeah, wow, amazing answer. Thank you so much. I think this is one of the things that I like the most about phrasal verbs. Instead, slangs, for example. Phrasal verbs are more easy to understand the meaning because of the words. You said it's raining cats and dogs. It doesn't make any sense. I can't know what it is. But if you say, for example, look around or something, it's a phrasal verb. I can, because of the words, I can, guess what is the meaning. So I think this is one of phrasal verbs are not so difficult to learn because of that.
Yeah, I agree. Phrasal verbs, well, in my experience, my students usually don't have a lot of trouble picking up on look, see, I said picking up. That's a phrasal verb. But my students don't really have a lot of trouble picking up on phrasal verbs. They start to understand them quickly because most of the time, even though it's two different things that come together and they have a different meaning when they come together, you can guess the meaning. It's kind of similar. You're like, oh, okay, I understand that. Like, like I just said, picking up on. They pick and up, pick up, picking up. It means they start to understand, and you can kind of guess the meaning in a way if you look at it and you're like, assess the situation, assess the conversation that you're having, like, oh, okay, it means to understand, picking up on, but then there are some phrasal verbs that might be a little bit more difficult, especially when you get to the ones where there's like separable and inseparable. So there's phrasal verbs that, you can separate and you can say it like halfway throughout the sentence. So for example, if I, like I mentioned before, turn the lights off, I can say like, oh, well, Susan forgot to turn the lights off because she went, I don't know, to the store or something like that. Like she forgot to turn the lights off when she went to the store. It's a long sentence. So if you're listening and you're like, turn, okay, lights, where did that come from? Off. Okay, lights turn off. And they're like, okay, I get it. But then there's some that are inseparable, which means they always have to be next to each other. You can't put any words in between them. I think those are maybe a little bit easier to understand, like I said before, the example go on, or maybe wait on. That's another example, like, oh, I had to wait on you for so long, or you took so much time, I had to wait on you for hours. They're a little bit easier to understand.
We have a lot of similar phrasal verbs. Like you said, wait on, we have hold on. It's kind of the same. So it's as you mentioned, if you search on the internet or ask for AI, tell us how many phrasal verbs we have, I think it's going to be a lot. So
Many.
yeah, but you have a favorite or one that you use a lot and that you can tell us?
Fred, this is the hardest question ever.
I
we
know.
use we use so many. And that's the thing. We don't even realize that we use them. I think as native English speakers, and I'm pretty sure like you know, in every language it's this way. I think when I was learning Korean, there are phrasal verbs in Korean that people use that, you know, so natural for them. But for me, I was like, I don't understand what, you know. And then once I started understanding a little bit more and more, I'm like, oh, okay. So I think maybe even for Portuguese or Spanish or Chinese, you know, German, there might be phrasal verbs that, you know, they have in their own languages. But I do think English might maybe like a lot more than other languages, and it's just very hard to to even know that you're using them so much, you know, because you don't really think about it. So I think one that I say a lot, oh, let me think about it.
Maybe get
Well,
up with your kids.
I was thinking that. I was like, you know what? We already used the phrasal verb pick up. I always say pick up your toys, pick up your clothes, pick up your shoes, pick up your backpack. I say pick up so many times to my
Every
kids.
mom do that.
And yes, also get up or get out, like get out of bed, get out of the car, you know, when they're going to school in the morning, get out of the house, like go to school, you know. So I think I use those a lot.
That is
And
one that I love
any
so
other one?
much because
Which
you
one?
guys use a lot. Americans use this all the time, and I love to hear because for me it's like I don't know. I just like it. It's come on when you're like, oh come on.
Oh
I
yeah,
love that phrasal verb because it's
that's a
kind
good one.
of you can use you know all the time with your friends,
Mhm.
family, everybody. So I like that phrasal verb. Don't ask me why. I just like it.
Actually, you know, it's so funny because my youngest son, he's 3 years old. He actually just learned a couple months ago this phrasal verb, this phrase. I think he learned it from like a TV show or maybe friends at school. So a lot of times he's like, "Oh, come on." He says it, and it's so cute. Or he says, "Oh man, come on," you know. So
Yeah,
when you
this
said
is so American. This is
even a 3-year-old knows that phrasal verb, you know. But yeah, there's so many phrasal verbs. I think another one that I really like with is or I really like is come up with,
come up
because
with.
I'm kind of, I mean, maybe I'm not super creative, but I like to say that I'm a creative person. So one thing that I like to do is I come up with ideas for my YouTube videos. I come up with different ideas or plans for my kids, like to do on the weekend to keep them busy. Here in America, last week or 2 weeks ago, they had fall break, so they were off school for the whole week. So I had to come up with ideas so they didn't drive me crazy, you know. I had to think of things for them to do. And then they're off school. Tomorrow is a holiday in America. It's at the time of this recording, tomorrow is Columbus Day, I believe. So they're off school again. So because of that, I had to come up with ideas. So we bought pumpkins, and they're going to paint pumpkins. So I think I use the phrasal verb come up with a lot because as a mom and also as an English teacher, I have to come up with ways for my students to learn different, you know, there's different styles of learning. So I have to try to say, okay, this student isn't really understanding. So maybe I have to come up with a different way. And, you know, I think in every part of my life and my daily routine, I use this phrasal verb quite often. Even with like cooking, I come up with different ideas, recipes or, you know, whatever to cook. So I like this phrasal verb as well.
And guys, I need to say something to you. You're learning so much here, and the secret is learn and use it because phrasal verbs are very natural. So and if you don't use, you forget it. So I'll put all the meetings below on screen. So you learn, use it, and as much you use, as much you get more natural and part
Mm-hmm.
of your English. So this is so important. So don't forget that.
I agree. We say an expression that we have is practice makes progress. There's also an expression called practice makes perfect. But that expression is kind of going out of style these days, and people say practice makes progress, and I believe that is 100% true. If you don't practice what you learn, you're not going to be able to progress. So I agree with you, Fred.
Yeah, I just learned a new phrasal verb a few days ago that is perk up.
Oh, really? Perk up, like your
Yeah,
ears
it's
perk up.
exactly because it's I don't know. There are a lot of phrasal verbs that are so common, but some of them
Mhm.
are not really, you don't hear a lot. So when I hear something like this, I get like, wow, what that means. And then I stop the video, I look at the meaning because I'm so curious about this. I don't like to see something new and don't learn it. So it's part of my English learning journey. I need to learn and use it as much as I can. So I take notes on my Notion every
Mhm.
time. So I get screenshots, I get everything just to remember those things that I'm learning. So and yeah, it's part of my studies. So I think this is important to mention because sometimes we hear, but we don't practice, we don't use it. So it's going to be you will forget very soon. So it's important.
No, I highly recommend, and I do this as well. I keep a notes tab on my phone, and I have it, and I keep it there every time. Not only for me with Korean, but also when I have ideas for my YouTube or for the academy students ask me questions. I keep notes on my phone um, that have as soon as I hear something, if I don't fully understand it, or if I think, wow, that's something that I think the students will benefit from, I immediately write it down as well. And I try to, either create a video for it if it's for my YouTube, or if it's something that maybe somebody had a question for in the academy, I, try to go back and do research on that. So definitely keep notes. I highly recommend keeping notes, and then also using them in your day-to-day vocabulary. Even if you are unsure at first, like, am I using this right? Just try, because no matter who you're around, they're going to know that at least you're trying. And most of the time, they're going to be surprised that these phrasal verbs or this slang or this idiom. They're going to be surprised. So even if you might say something, maybe, for example, it might be take off. You have two different versions of take off, like take off your shoes. That's one. Or you can be like, oh, it's take off, like in an airplane, right? So maybe you're sitting in the airplane and you're like, oh, it's take on time. And if somebody's like, take on, oh, take off, they're going to correct you, and you don't have to be embarrassed because you tried. And then they're gonna be like, wow, they knew this phrasal verb. They knew this. I mean, if you're American, they're probably not gonna even know what a phrasal verb is. Most Americans, I'm not gonna lie, I think because I'm an English teacher, I know like what an idiom or a phrasal verb or all these things are. But I think half the time, if you were to go to a random street and ask a stranger on the street, like, hey, what's a phrasal verb? They will be like, what? I'm sorry. And it's because we don't think about these things. Now we say them all the time, but we don't think about them. I think only people who are like in school for English, or are English teachers or around ESL learners, that's when you really know like the difference between everything. But a lot of people, we just use our language and that's that. We don't really look into it much further.
Yeah, for sure. Carly, I have a few phrasal verbs here, and I want to ask you, and then if you can just say the meaning, I think it's going to be good for those that are watching. And if you are
Okay.
watching right now, when I ask, try to guess you can pause the video and try to guess what is the meaning, because this is really, it's easy to understand. So try to guess what that means. So let's get started.
Okay.
Okay, the first one, get out.
Okay. Get out means when you tell, like, let's say I'm in here, I'm in the office right now, I'm in a meeting with you. My two kids are downstairs, but if they come upstairs and try to open the door, I will say, get out, which means go away, don't come in here, get out of this place, I'm busy. Get out means to go away from. Next one.
Amazing. Thank
I'm good
you.
at
So look for.
Look for. So look for means to search or to search for something, to try to find something. So an example, right before class, right before this meeting, I was looking for phrasal verbs, some ideas to talk about, because although I know of many, I know like there's so many more. So I wanted to find some really good ones. So look for.
I remember one right now. It's not on my list, but I remember figure out.
Oh, figure out. Is figure out a phrasal verb? Figure out.
I
Oh,
don't
I
think,
think I don't know.
yeah,
Wait, figure out. To figure. Figure is a verb. Figured.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. It can be. Some are really difficult. It makes you go like, wait a minute. But yeah, that's a good one too. So you figure out something, you understand it. You solve a puzzle and you figured it out. So good one.
Good, thank you. Take over.
Take over. So example, I like to give my definitions with examples. So an example is today my husband was helping me do laundry, but I don't like the way he does it. It's not it's not my standard. So I had to take over. I had to tell him to, okay, you can do something else and I'll finish it. I will take over the job. I will start doing this job. You don't have to do it anymore. Take over.
It's on me. Let me do
There you
it. Turn down.
What was that?
Turn down.
Turn down. All right. So a lot of times my kids, they watch their TV shows very loudly. So I always tell them to turn it down, which means the volume is too loud and you need to turn down a little bit. I think there's also another turn down, like when you're driving, like say you're giving directions and you're like, oh, turn down this street to get to, the shopping center or something. Turn down. So there's two different.
Oh,
Here's
good.
another. Yeah.
Uh-huh. No, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's another thing about English. A lot of things mean many different things. So I just noticed, when you said turn down, I automatically thought of turn down the music or turn down the volume. But then as I was thinking, I was like, wait a minute, we say turn down this street, turn down this street to get, there's a different meaning. And then the one that I mentioned earlier was take off, take off your shoes, take off your jacket. But also you're in the airplane and the pilot says, okay, we're clear for takeoff, which means we're about to, leave and go into the air. So that has double meaning as well. And I'm pretty sure there's so many more that have double
Yeah,
meanings.
that is a lot. It's,
A lot, yeah.
I remember another one you are speaking about driving. Pull over.
Pull over, which means to
Yeah.
go off to the side of the road. So like an example, if there's a fire truck behind you or an ambulance behind you, you have to pull over and get out of their way. So go off to the side of the road. Or if there's a police officer, you did something wrong, you have to pull over and talk to the police officer.
Yeah, good. Let me see another one. It's funny. Catch up. Catch up.
Catch up. So a lot of times I use this with my kids too, because if we're shopping like at the mall or the grocery store, my kids, they don't want to be there, So I'm like, you need to catch up with me, which means you need to come up here. I'm way ahead. You're too far behind. Come up here, stay near me, catch up. Or you can also use catch up like, let's say I'm watching a TV show and my best friend is watching the TV show too, but she's on season 3, episode 2, and I'm on season 2, episode 5. I have to catch up to that episode. I need to catch up and be at the same episode as she is so that we can watch together. So it just means to come up and be near, kind of.
Wow, good. Buckle up.
Buckle up. Oh, this is a good one. So
Yeah.
this one actually is a literal definition. When you buckle your seatbelt in the car, you buckle up. You have a seatbelt in the car, you buckle up, right? For safety. But we use this in an expression sometimes. We use this as an expression. We can say, oh, you need to buckle up because I have a lot of news to share with you, which means you need to secure yourself, make sure that you're ready to hear some news, like maybe there's something that happened, maybe your best friend had a fight with her boyfriend, and she wants to tell you all about it. So before she mentions anything, she's like, girl, buckle up because I have a lot of news. I have a lot of things to talk about. That just means prepare yourself, get ready.
Stay ready.
Stay ready, be secure because I have a lot to share with you.
Okay, let's say the next one. Come across.
Come across. Okay, so come across just means like, for example, let's say I'm reading a book and I come across a word that I'm unfamiliar with. Like you were saying earlier, you stop right then and there and you go and you try to research what that word means or what that phrase or whatever means. And then you try to write it down, to take note of it and practice it and use it later on. So when you come across something, it just means you find something. And maybe a lot of times when you come across it, it's you find it and maybe it's something that you're not used to, something that you're unfamiliar with. So you can say, oh, I come across this word. I didn't understand what it meant. So I went and looked it up. But you can also come across someone. So let's say you're in the store and you come across someone who seems a little bit strange, maybe they're shoplifting, so maybe they're stealing something in the store. So you can go to the manager and you can say, hey, I came across someone who looked a little weird, maybe you should go check it out, I think they're trying to steal. So that's another way that you can use the phrasal verb come across.
Is it like you are walking and somebody is you came across or something like that, like somebody approach of you close to you, or the first time you see something towards you, like a new word, a new, I don't know, a new platform, a new software? I think could be something like that, right?
It could be anything. It doesn't have to be a person. I think usually it is still a noun, but it could be anything that you come across, something that comes towards you or comes in your eyesight, your point of view. I think is you can use come across, because as you were talking just now, I thought about, let's say you're walking on the sidewalk and you come across some trash on the sidewalk and you're like, oh, I just picked up I came across some trash, so I just went ahead and picked it up, threw it in the trash can. You can come across almost anything. It's not just unique to coming across something in a book or on TV or a person. You can come across almost anything.
I can see that this one is really useful.
Yeah, it's very versatile. Like
a lot of things.
Use it in different situations. Yeah.
Wow, good. How about show up?
Show up. So show up usually just means that you attend a place. When you show up, it means that you went there and you presented yourself. So you show up. So an example of this is actually yesterday my family had a family reunion, but I've been working a lot recently, like very, very busy at work. So I was unable to attend, unfortunately. So I couldn't show up to my family reunion. Example, I couldn't show up, which means I could not attend. I couldn't show my face. This one is actually very difficult to understand if you are not a native English speaker, because show, this day and age, a show usually means a performance. Sometimes you can say, oh, show me this, but when people think of show, they think of like maybe a TV show or a performance or a concert, putting on a show. And then the word up, which means up. So when you put it together, it doesn't make sense. So this one is one of the phrasal verbs that you might have to really think about. You might, I wonder what this means, and ponder on it a little bit, but it's a good one. It's a good one for sure. Very common.
Another one, build something or someone up.
Oh, to build someone up. This one's a long one. All right, this one just means it means to kind of cheer someone up, which is another phrasal verb, cheer up. So let me try to give a little bit more detail. So when you build someone up, let's say someone's really struggling with their self-confidence, maybe, for example, like right now, they're learning a different language and they want to be able to speak more confidently in that language. So let's say you build them up by telling them, like, you're doing so well, look at how much you've progressed, you're studying every day, your English is getting better by the second, and you're building up that confidence. You're building someone up to help them, be confident enough to speak. So you're basically just, when you build someone up, you're giving them confidence. You know, you can build someone up about almost anything, maybe their appearance, or like I said, if they're learning a new language, or if they're nervous to go to a job interview, you can build them up, say, hey, don't be nervous, you got this, like, you're great. You can build up their confidence. But I also mentioned the phrasal verb cheer up. So you can also build someone back up. So let's say they've just been very depressed, or they've had hard times recently, and there's an expression we use, down in the dumps. All right. So let's just say they've been it's an idiom, and they have just been down in the dumps, which means they've been depressed or unhappy. You can build them back up. You know, you can just say, hey, I know you haven't been yourself lately, but I'm here for you. If you need to talk, you can talk to me. Or maybe you can do little things like invite them out to dinner or to coffee, get them out of the house, you know, and try to build them back up or cheer them up that way as well.
Wow, it's a lot of I have a lot of others, phrasal verbs here, but I don't like to be like in an interrogatory. So my friend,
Yeah,
I went.
this is fun. I like this because like there's so many phrasal verbs, and I feel like I'm playing a game show or something. Like you're giving me one, and then I'm like, okay, I have the answer. I
I
love it.
like this thing. Sometimes in the academy, I have my sessions there, and sometimes I come up with games like, okay, let's guess the meaning of this phrasal verb or expression or something, and I
Yeah,
play with them, and they just love it. They just get
yeah.
very excited about to participate, and sometimes they get like, oh no, I got wrong. So, but it's like very funny. I like this
Mhm.
because when you use something that's it's funny to learn, I think it's more easy. People
Oh
get
yeah,
more.
I usually do the same, like nowadays, and even back when I was teaching in actual classes in Korea, I usually, instead of just going and giving the answer or giving the definition or explaining, I try to give a story or something and have them guess, okay, here's my story. Can you guess the word and the definition that I'm using in the story? You know, I try to make it more interesting that way. So I like this, what we're doing right now.
Yeah, me too. Carly, tell us a little bit more about your YouTube channel, because the first time I interviewed you, you didn't have a YouTube channel yet. But right now
Mm.
you are teaching us such a great things there on YouTube, and I want
Oh,
to
thank
know
you.
a little bit more about this. And first of all, why you choose that name? I love it. It's fascinative English. I got like, wow, this is really cool. So how did you come up with this idea? I
Oh,
just love it.
Fred, I'm not gonna lie. I really struggled coming up with the YouTube channel name. It took me months. Like I think when we had our last meeting, when was that? Early this year, right? Maybe early this year
Yeah.
or late
Mhm.
year. So it's been a while, like maybe 10 months. When we had that meeting, I had already planned to start a YouTube channel. I just was trying to find a name. I could not like come up with a good name. So I plan to start initially I plan to start the channel by January of next year. And this year was going to be like my planning and pre-recording and getting everything ready. But I had so many people in Tiffani's Academy ask me like, and please like start a YouTube channel. And so I was like, it's coming, like I'm working on it. And you know, my birthday is in June, and so I was like, you know what, let me do it, let me start. So I decided to start my YouTube channel, you know, like almost a year ago, but I plan to start it January 2024. But in April of this year, 2023, I had so many students messaging me asking me to start a YouTube channel. I was like, okay, I'll do it on my birthday. It'll be a special day. I'll do it on my birthday. But then I was like, oh no, my birthday is only like 6 weeks away, and I don't have a name for my channel, and I didn't have that many things prepared. So I was so, you know, worried. And I really like the idea of mixing names, you know, like I didn't want to put my name in the channel. Actually, Tiffani, advised me. She's like, she loves her channel and she loves the name Speak English with Tiffani, but she says, you know, it will give me more opportunities in the future if I don't attach my name to it. That's the one advice she gave me. So I was like, okay, well, that's good, because I already didn't want to put my name in the title. So then I was thinking, like, what can I do for, I want to teach like native English, because there's so many different YouTube channels out there for beginners or intermediate, but there are not many learning options for people who are advanced language learners. You know, a lot of times we just say, oh, look, you can speak English fluently, you're done. You know, you don't have to learn anymore, because there's no books on how to perfect your English or how to speak English like a native. There's not that many materials on that. So I really wanted it to be clear in my YouTube channel name that this is speaking English like a native. This is not your beginner English. This is not intermediate. This is teaching you how to be just like a normal American person would speak, you know? So the videos are going to be fast paced a little bit. Yes, I know I speak fast. So I have so many people sometimes comment like, oh, I love your videos, but you speak very fast. So I wanted people to know, like, this is going to be a channel about how to speak English like a native. But I cannot put that as my channel name, how to speak English like a native. It's so long, right? So one night, I promise you, I was laying in the bed. I was about to go to sleep, and my brain was just like thinking, you know, so many different things. Like, I had a list of, I can't even remember them now. I had a list of YouTube channel names of ideas, and I hated all of them. I was like, I didn't really hate them, but I was like, it's not good. It's just not good. It's not there. It's not what I want. And I was almost falling asleep, and I was like, you know, I had this thought. I was like, you know, it's fascinating to me that there's so many. And then I stopped my sentence, and I'm like, fascinating, fascinating English. Oh my goodness. Like, this is the one, you know. I used the word fascinating, like, in my own thoughts. And I was like, oh, fascinating, fascinative, native English, fascinative. Oh my goodness, this is the one. So that's how I came up with my name. Like, it was out of the blue. I didn't expect it. I had actually given up. I kind of changed my YouTube handle name to something else. And I forgot what it was now, but I had already decided, like, I'm going to go with this name. And I kept it a secret. I didn't tell anyone. Only my husband knew. And then I really didn't love that name. I was like, you know, it's good, but it's not great. And then randomly, I thought of Fascinative English, and I was like, this is the name. So I really do love my name. I love my channel, and I love the content that I produce for everyone, but I am very proud of the name. I'm not going to.
You should be. You should be. The name is incredible. When I saw the name for the first time, I got like, this is a brilliant idea. I don't know how this came to Carley, but it's amazing because, you know, it's short and you just look and see what it is. You don't need to think about it. You know what it is. So it's incredible.
I prayed for like 4 or 5 months. I was like, Lord, please let me find a good name. And I really, truly believe that, you know, I was just about to go to sleep, and I think God was just like, fascinative, you know, in my ear or something. And I'm like, you're right, fascinative English, you know. So that's how I came up with my name. But as for the content on my channel, I usually tend to do videos only about slang or idioms or expressions. I have one video, I think, on a proverb, and then abbreviations. So I'm slowly getting into abbreviations, because I know in this day and age, we use social media so much, and we people comment things that are, you know, LOL or BTW, you know, abbreviations. So I'm trying to teach that as well. But I, like you said, you mentioned yesterday you mentioned that we would be talking about phrasal verbs today, and I thought that was crazy, because last month, the month of September, I did a pronunciation challenge on my YouTube channel. So every day, Monday through Friday, I uploaded a YouTube short of how to pronounce words that are kind of difficult for English language learners. And I got a lot of good feedback from those videos, and some people are asking me for more, but not pronunciation, like other little things. And somebody mentioned the phrasal verb, I think it was make up, like you make up with your friends. They're like, Carley, I don't understand, because I thought makeup was something women wear on their face. And I was like, yeah, that's true. We wear makeup. And they're like, well, the other day I heard how these two people, they needed to make up. So I thought they needed to wear makeup. And I was like, oh no, makeup is a phrasal verb. So they need, like, maybe those two people are fighting and they need to, reconcile and become friends again. They need to make up. So that gave me the idea of maybe doing a month-long challenge of just like short videos every day of different phrasal verbs. So I'm probably going to do that soon. But yeah, so my channel is basically just teaching different slang, idioms, expressions, soon to be phrasal verbs, but in a fun way. I think a lot of YouTube channels are very serious and very teacher like and very like, classroom like, but I don't want to be that kind of teacher. I've always been kind of a fun teacher, if I do say so myself. So I try to make my videos very funny as well. I love comedy. So
I need to say something about this. I love the memes you use in your videos. It's so funny. It make the learning journey so much more easier. So I love it. I love it. Keep doing it because it's amazing.
Oh, I think I've always loved memes. Memes have been around for a long time now. Like I remember, using memes even when I was in middle school, high school. I would print them. Like, this is how old I am. I would print a meme and I would like put it in my notebook at school, or like hide it in my locker, or like give it to, like, put it on a wall in my classroom when I was in high school, because I loved being funny. And then when I decorated one of my classrooms when I was a teacher in Korea, I decorated my classroom with memes. So a lot of times my students would leave like trash on their desk. So I put like a meme that said like, trash goes in the trash can. And it was like a meme of like a cat pointing to the trash can. Like, I just like to be funny. So whenever I decided to start this YouTube channel, I knew I wasn't going to go the traditional route. Like, I wasn't going to just get up here and be like, hey, we're going to talk about this word today, and then explain and give an example, and then that's it. No, I knew I wanted to be really funny in my videos, because that's my character, that's my personality. So that's why I tried to add like little funny videos and sounds and memes and edits, which my husband is actually the editor. If you guys didn't know, my husband does all the edits. He's tried to teach me, but I'm like, I prefer him. If I try to edit and I mess up a little bit, I panic. I'm like, no, where did it go? So he edits my videos, even though he's trying to teach me. But he's really good at that. And so we both come up with ideas, because he and we are very similar in like the way we think. And I think like he really understands me. So I'm very blessed that I don't have to send my videos off to an editor that doesn't really understand me. The first few videos I did, I had my friend helping editing. He was also teaching my husband how to edit, and they were good videos, but they weren't like, me. So I'm glad now that I'm more involved in editing. I'm sitting right beside my husband the whole time he's editing. We're coming up with ideas, and it's fun. I'm not gonna lie, this YouTube channel has taught me a lot, and not only about like, I do this for my students, of course, I do it for my followers, I do it for you all, English language learners, but it's helped me a lot too, because I love teaching. I have always loved teaching, and because my full-time job right now is not being a teacher, it's an editor. I'm an editor full-time. I really do miss teaching a lot. And even though I still teach here and there, and I teach in the academy, it's not the same. So being able to teach on YouTube twice a week has really helped me, because it's something that I love doing. And I love having people say like, oh, I finally understand this now. I love, sharing my knowledge. So it's helped me a lot in that aspect. And it's helped my husband and I, get a little bit of, I know it sounds weird, alone time, but when you're parents, you never get like a lot of time to just be alone. But we edit our videos when our kids are asleep, when before, usually maybe when I would just like take a break whenever our kids are asleep, and he would maybe play a video game. But now we edit my videos together, so it gives us a little bit more time to spend together, and I enjoy that as well. So I know I talked way too much about my YouTube channel. I'm very passionate about it.
Oh, for sure. It's an amazing YouTube channel, and
Oh, thank you.
just say the name again for those that didn't catch. So, and I'll put the link right below in the description.
Okay, it's Fascinative English. So Fascinative English.
And guys, the videos are very short and very, very good. So you will learn a new thing that you can use immediately. So it's kind of I learned, I use, and it's done. Carley, it's an amazing teacher, and it's written all over your face. The fact that you love teaching. It's when I see the videos, I see that you do it with your heart, because it's kind of, I can see that you love to do that. So that videos are amazing.
Thank you. Yes, I tried to make my videos, like you mentioned, they're short. So I tried to make my videos less than 10 minutes long, because I know everybody's living a busy life. I'm a busy woman as well. Fred, you're about to have a baby in the house. You're going to be very busy. You know, being a parent is busy. Being an adult is busy. So I try to do my videos very short, so you can, you know, watch them anytime you're cooking and you're watching, or you're on your way to work. If you're not driving, you guys, if you take a subway, or please don't watch my videos while driving. But if you're on the way to work, you can maybe listen or watch or something like that. I like to make them very short, because I know we all live busy lives as adults.
Yeah, for me, it's a challenge to make short videos. I tried a few months ago, I started a pronunciation challenge in the channel. And I thought, okay, it's going to be 15 minutes and that's it. But all of the videos got like 30 minutes, 20 minutes. So it was impossible to do it shorter. I don't know why, but I think I talk so much and I need to. Yeah, it's hard. It's so hard.
It's hard. It's very hard. I tried to make my time limit no more than 5 minutes, but I realized that's impossible. So I made it like 10 minutes, and now slowly I see sometimes it's like 11 minutes or 12 minutes. So I'm like, no, but you know, it's also hard because I do want to make sure that people who are watching, the viewers, fully understand. And there are some idioms or expressions that are the same, but they mean 2 or 3 different things depending on the way that you use it in a conversation. So I want to try to give different examples. Like if it means different things, I would like to give different examples. So it is hard to keep it, you know, short. And then also you are obviously a YouTuber as well. So, you know, if you look at the analytics, if you have all short videos, it's kind of hard to get a lot of views because your videos are short, so your watch time hours are lower. So it's a sacrifice I know that I'm making. You know, I know if I go and I do very, very long videos, I will get more watch time hours. I will get more views because my videos, you know, are longer. So that gives me more watch time hours. But I also know that my students won't benefit from it as much as if I do the short videos, because a lot of my students are very, very, very busy. So I think eventually maybe it will pay off, which is a phrasal verb. Maybe it will pay off, but right now it's just all about, you know, giving the students what they want, and that's what matters. If you guys are happy, you know, the followers are happy, then I'm happy.
Yeah, YouTube is a long journey. It's not easy at all. I know this because I'm in this path as well. But it's really good when you are doing something and we see the feedback, the positive feedback from students, from the audience, and I don't know, it just give us more energy to do more and more. And and guys, I want to put the link below, so go there, watch the video, and subscribe in Carley's channel. I'm sure you will love it, so do it, because the videos are amazing. On a weekly basis, you have something new there, very useful expressions, idioms, and everything. So just click below and subscribe in her channel. And Carley, if they want to become your student, where they can find you to study with you?
So right now I'm teaching with Speak English with Tiffani Academy, the academy, but I'm only teaching with the Speak English Like a Native program. So Fred, later I'll send you the link if you want to put it in the description as well. I only teach with the Speak English Like a Native program with Teacher Tiffani's Academy at Speak English with Tiffani. So I think for now, That's where you can find me. But here's the cliffhanger. Last time I left you with the cliffhanger. There might be something in the near future where you can also learn with me, but it's still in the works. So we'll see. Maybe next time I'm on your podcast, I will have, or on your show, I will have something else for you all.
Wow, I am curious now.
You're always the first to hear about everything, Fred.
Yeah, I like cliffhangers. I think it's a good way to retain the, the attention of people. So, and right now you make me curious.
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Well, Carley, thank you so much for being with me today. I truly love our conversation. Again, every time when you talk, it's a good conversation. I learned so much from you all the time, and I can see that people will learn also. And please, if you want to say something before we leave, you're free to do it.
Oh, no, just thank you for having me today. It's always a pleasure, always fun. I'm still so proud of you and where you've come from, meeting you, like you were one of the original ones in the academy, a few years ago. So it's been, about 4 or 5 years, and seeing how far you've come is just, it makes me so proud. So I'm proud of you. I'm very happy for you and your channel and everything that you're doing here. And I'm honored to be a guest on your channel.
Thank you so much. The honor is mine. So guys, if you are not subscribed to the channel yet, just subscribe, and I hope you can watch the whole video, the whole episode, because Carley gave us a lot of things today. So thanks again for being with us. I'll see you in the next video, in the next episode. So see you there. Bye-bye.